The NCAA season will be here before we know it. And with that said, that means there is a lot of anticipation about some of the best potential matchups. Especially with an offseason filled of weight changes, it seems like from Penn State trying to find ways to fit every great guy in the lineup, Keegan O'Toole bumping up to 174, and some redshirt guys entering back into the fold, this season is going to be filled with great matchups. Now, as we all know in college wrestling, getting excited for a match can sometimes, well, not work out at all, with guys quote unquote sitting out for whatever reason under the sun, or guys getting hurt, which no one wants to wish on anybody. There's just a lot of things that can happen from now until the NCAA season, or as some of these matches that we're going to detail, they might not happen until technically the postseason. So we have some time to really sit and speculate on these matchups. And as you all know, us here at TrueTan Wrestling love some speculation, so let's jump into exactly that. The most exciting matches for the 2025 NCAA wrestling season. For starters, Stach, I am pretty sure is going up to 197 this year for the good old Nittany Lions to try and capture his 5th national title. Now, there isn't exactly one match per se that I want to see Stach wrestle, but I actually just want to see it in general. And what I mean by it is, well, him wrestling 197, because I'll be tuning into every single one of those matches for a few reasons. One, the dude has been a 174 for a long time, and going up 2 weight classes is more than just eating up. He's going to have to not only grow as a wrestler, but grow his strengths as well. And I'm just really curious to see him adapt to it. 2, I think he looked pretty solid at 86 kilograms at the Olympic trials, which is still a little ways away from 197, but still heavier than 174. And finally, the dude is going for his 5th national title, which is very rare in the modern era of wrestling. So the cameras are going to be on for every single opportunity, and I'm going to be tuned in for every single one of them. Overall though, 197 went from a field with a lot of guys at the same skill level to a field with a final boss. I can't wait to see a Rocky Elam versus Stach, or a Buchanan versus a Stach, or heck, I can't wait to see him against any 197 this year. And if AJ Ferrari is back for Iowa or any Big Ten school or anywhere in the country, ooh, let's go, wrestling fans. Now, I know one of the most exciting things about Stach bumping up is all the new potential matchups. Literally everyone Stach will wrestle next year will be a new matchup we've never seen before. I only bring this up because I want this list to be all new matchups. Matchups we've never seen before, so the speculation and mystery is at an ultimate high. The only scenario where I'm going to list a matchup that might have been previously wrestled in the NCAA field is a scenario where the match would look totally different, or both wrestlers are just completely different people now. And in this exact section, we are going to detail one of those matches. But before we detail that exact matchup at 149, I think we all can agree another 149 matchup that all wrestling fans want to see is good old Ridge Lovett of Nebraska versus Shane Van Ness of Penn State, which will be absolutely fire when we see it this year. The craziest part of these two wrestlers, besides that they've actually never wrestled before in the NCAA landscape, is how their seasons finished up last year. Very different, but also very unexpected. Van Ness dominated the Journeyman tournament and then suffered an ACL injury, ending his season. This also came right after his All-Star match where he looked really good against Kyle Parko of Arizona State. Ridge Lovett, on the other hand, was the easy number 1 all season, and then semi-slid down to 6th place at the national tournament. Either way, I think this will be a top tier Big Ten matchup, and I really want to reiterate this, I seriously can't believe we've never seen it before. However, a matchup we have seen before, but I think we can all agree would be drastically different, or at least drastically more exciting, is Shane Van Ness versus the returning national champion for Virginia Tech, Caleb Henson. Yes, the last time these two wrestled, it went Van Ness's way in the constellation of the 2023 NCAA tournament, with Van Ness winning 5-3. However, we all saw the massive gains Henson made from his freshman to sophomore year, and I think he's one of the few wrestlers in this field that can actually beat Van Ness or be competitive with him. This next match is also a match we've kinda seen before. Don't you just love when you implement rules just to immediately break them? However, I think this matchup would be drastically different compared to the first time we saw it, primarily because the first time was in freestyle, and then this next time would of course be in folk style. That matchup is Andrew Liras of Northern Colorado, the 2023 NCAA champion, versus Jesse Mendez of Ohio State, the 2024 NCAA national champion. The last time these two wrestled was actually this summer, so pretty recently at a Beat the Streets event, with Mendez winning 4-1, but it was kind of weird when you look back on it. Sometimes freestyle matches can be translated over to folk style pretty easily, especially if it's a heavy takedown match, but for the Mendez vs. Liras match at Beat the Streets, we really didn't get that, with most of the scores being one-pointers, and that can happen from time to time, especially with high-level wrestlers. Either way, considering there is no push-out point or shot clock point in college wrestling, I really hope Liras stays at 141, because these two are animals in wrestling, and having them battle it out on the national stage would be a must-see national final. Plus the fact that we would have two national champs in one weight class, I mean, you just don't get that all the time, so I'm really hoping we see it again. The next matchup, I know at the very least I'm excited for it, and it might be a stretch to even happen next year, but I'm saying it. And that's Luke Liljedahl, the incoming U20 world teamer for Penn State, versus the returning NCAA champion Richie Figueroa of Arizona State. 125 was pretty wild last year, and I think that could continue into this upcoming year, but we'll just have to wait and see. However, Liljedahl versus Figueroa, I hope is one match we don't have to wait for. With more and more rumors of Drake Al of Iowa bumping up to 133, and if Figueroa can stay healthy, I think his season will be a little bit more consistent than last year, and he'll more than likely stay in the top spot for most of the season. Hopefully I didn't just jinx him there, but anyway. I'm also really high on Liljedahl because time and time again he is impressing me on the U20 scene. He was a U20 silver medalist last year, and he made the team again this year looking even more impressive. I honestly think Penn State should use him right away at 125 and end this Penn State curse once and for all. Over the past few weeks, we finally got to see a more consistent run by Iowa's heavyweight Ben Keeer. He used to be a football and wrestling dual sport athlete for those who are unaware. However, he is going all in on wrestling for the next season and the U20 World Championships, where he was a former champ at 97 kilograms. I don't think I'm alone in thinking this, but the Big Ten is going to be so much fun this year at 285, which really begs the question, will we get a Keeer versus Feldman matchup finally? Two young heavyweight stars who we've never seen battle it out before, with the winner getting the boss man and returning national champ Greg Kirkfleet of Penn State. Also, besides Wyatt Hendrickson, Bastida hasn't wrestled some of these big names either. I think Kirkfleet versus Bastida lost some steam, but heading to the national tournament last year, that was a very talked about potential final. Bastida also beat up on Feldman before, but I think that matchup would look a lot different, especially considering the growth Feldman made over last year. Also, seeing Keeer wrestle more consistently next year is easily in its own category for excitement, especially for Iowa fans. Finally, the last matchup I think could be a big stretch that we won't really know about until we get into the fun college season. But first, some background. Last year, Keegan O'Toole of Missouri lost to David Carr of Iowa State in the NCAA semifinals, losing a chance to become a three-time NCAA champion, and us fans missing out on Messenbrink versus O'Toole, which had to be one of the most anticipated matches of last year that never happened. But now O'Toole is officially bumping up to 174, which really makes me personally want to see Rocco Welsh of Ohio State, the breakout true freshman last year and returning NCAA runner-up, versus Keegan O'Toole. But there is one other potential wrestler entering this fight that I really want to see do battle with both of these great wrestlers, and that is Levi Haynes for Penn State. Since the season has ended, Levi Haynes has been rumored to be going 174, which might be the first time a team has two return NCAA champions bumping up two weight classes for the next season. I personally think Haynes is going to use a red shirt to bulk up at least to get up to 174 if that's even true. However, if he's going full go at 174 for this upcoming season, I think Keegan O'Toole versus Levi Haynes could be one of the best matches to circle for the 2025 NCAA wrestling season. Like, if some of these matchups end up being true, we could have several weight classes with national champ versus national champ finalists. 174, O'Toole versus Haynes. If Ferrari does come back, 197 could have two champs going at it. And then there's 141 with Mendez versus Alirez. So this season could be absolutely nuts with a ton of storylines heading into the national tournament. Or heck, there's going to be a lot of storylines heading into this season. And as you all know, we love that here at good old TrueTan Wrestling. Overall though, I think all these matchups will be fire, whether it's a national champ versus national champ or not. Heck, Lovett versus Van Ness isn't a national champ versus a national champ, but we all agree that match is going to be awesome. I just hope at the very least we get a few of them. And if we don't get any of them, it will be sad, but it will still be an awesome NCAA wrestling season. However, let me know what your favorite matchup listed today was, along with letting me know of any other potential fire matchups for this upcoming season. Also, while you're down there, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Now, with all that said, take care, everybody.